cry across the sky. Cast your shadow below, swoop down on the foe, then sweep up the field away. Fly high over the trees, make known to the breeze our victory. Spread wide each wing, for you are the king. Blue eagle, the king. Blue eagle, the king. Blue eagle, the king.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atin misa, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugod, todo sa kayod, punong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing giting at tigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan.
Coming up next, New Wave on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo Katipunan.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay at tenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugod, todo sa kayod, tulong at tulong. Lipat na Blue Eagle, galing giting nagigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan.
If it's entertainment you crave, catch us on New Wave. Surfing through the latest on our shores. New Wave. Every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. New Wave. See you there. Good afternoon. Now streaming on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM via Zoom. I'm Max, and when it comes to what's happening, I serve you the facts. So please take this hour to sit back and relax because New Wave is here once more. We are back again. Today is episode 89, so let's get straight into it. Joining me today is someone who started loving Elvis Presley songs at the young age of 7. So, performing professionally since 2021, this young singer-songwriter has been making a name for himself singing ballads, standards, and many more. So, everybody, please welcome David Young. Hi, David.
Hi, Maxine. It's wonderful to be here. I'm very honored to be on the Radyo Katipunan.
How are you, and what have you been up to lately?
Lately, just a few gigs here and there, but I've been working on some new songs I'm proud to share. Check out my new single, which will be released probably within the next month, called Tender Lady. So it's a love song, little love song. And then I've been working on other, love songs, trying to stretch. I like to call it stretch my songwriting muscle. I should have my first LP coming out soon.
LP, all right. I'm very excited to talk about that. So, before we get into that, a lot has happened since you debuted. So, please take us back to where your love for music began.
I'd say my love for music really began with just listening to CDs. So, I'm sure your parents had CDs, in your car. I grew up with Kenny Rogers CD.
Yeah.
CD. I had a few rock ones from my dad because he's a very big rock guy. So we had this one band called Deep Purple. They performed Smoke on the Water. I'm sure you know that one. So that's how I started, was singing along with the CDs, singing along to radio. And the thing I'd say about Philippine radio is it's very diverse. So I was exposed to a lot of different music at a young age. Of course, including my dad, who listened to rock, and then my mom, who listened to OPM classics. So sometimes I can tell people like, "Oh, I love, some rock band from the States, or the Beatles. I love the Beatles.
I love the Beatles. Oh my gosh! Don't get me started on the new biopic.
Yeah. But I also can say that one of my most favorite groups is Abo Hiking Society.
Oh, that's nice.
I love all kinds of music. So I don't know. I suppose that's where it started. My sister also had, I'm sure a lot of people will know this one, or maybe not, an iPod Shuffle. So
the little one with no screen.
Yes, she had the one with
clip.
And then she had the one with the screen that came like a year later.
I had that one, the Nano. It was a later model of the iPod Nano.
Yes, and she would play the Script. So the Script, I love them.
I love that band.
I think just being surrounded by like catchy music that everybody sang along to, that kind of feeling that you get from your whole family or the people you love, uniting over a tune really makes you feel good.
Yes,
and
it does.
You love music as much as they do. So that's where it started, I suppose. Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice. And I think something that we can both relate to right now is our parents raised us on such good music.
Yes.
Made sure we were very aware of the music of their time. Because I really think that shaped my music taste. I heard that after graduating from high school, you took a gap year. So with a lot of students being in our audience, what was that like for you?
I would say that I found out a few things about myself and through music. So essentially, I didn't figure out I wanted to do music until quite late into high school. I mean, that I wanted to do it professionally. I was just kind of like, I love music. This is what I love to do. I don't really want to, take an academic route in terms of stuff that doesn't have to do with music.
Right.
Still thinking of pursuing higher education in the future, in terms of like music production, etc. But at the time, I was kind of a bit, I guess, lost. So I said, I really love music and I think I want to see where it goes. And I discovered that the more I sang and the more I sang in front of people, that I could take that simple love for music into something that I could share with everybody. That was really the big eureka moment, I suppose, performing in front of these different crowds. Of course, we used to have a music lounge, so it was a little restaurant, and we would sing. We'd have live music, and I would sing in front of people, and that's okay because I got to know those people. But when you sing in front of people you've never met before, and then you see them reciprocate the love
Mm-hmm.
for music that you have and that you show them, then it really shows that you have that ability to share such deep emotion with
Yes.
people you don't even know. That's really what I love about it. So that's kind of that's how my gap year's been,
Oh,
pretty much.
that's nice.
Yeah,
You know, what you just told me right now kind of reminds me of this thing that Elton John said recently. I'm sure you know Elton John.
of
He
course I
said,
know Elton
of
John. I
course,
love
but
Elton John.
right. He said that the best way for a musician to really build their identity, to really like get themselves into a good level of being a musician is to perform, to have gigs. Like he said, more than any other way of learning how to be a musician, how to be a singer, it's gigging, it's performing in front of people because that's kind of where you put what you're good at into practice and to see a
Yes,
response. So,
that's true. That's very
mhm,
true, and I think it's also true because it's essentially the only way you will get your music out there.
exactly.
You know, there are a lot of different artists who may not be comfortable in a gigging situation,
Mm-hmm.
but you get artists who have their own kind of flair, have their own kind of style
Right.
when it comes to. So I was watching this video the other day that
Mm-hmm.
noted the difference between the 60s and the 70s in terms
Yeah.
of music. So we'll use the Beatles for an example. The Beatles, when they would gig, um, I'm sure they learned a lot of lessons, but they
Yes.
also found their own style, which was
Exactly.
to perform to the crowd. And that must have been so hard because if you know anything about Paul McCartney,
Mm-hmm.
he'd play these really complex bass lines, but he's looking at the crowd at the same time and he's engaging with them,
Right.
which is just so different. All of them are doing that, and they can barely hear themselves over the noise of screaming girls,
Yeah.
right? But then in the 70s, you had other different artists who would just be like, okay, we're musicians and this is what we do. And people still love them. So they kind
Right.
of their own way of performing through these gigs and
Mm-hmm.
through all of that. And like they say, variety is the spice of life. So it's cool to see those two extremes, and it's cool to see how people kind of find their own style through
Right.
these gigs. I'm sure every band probably at once has tried to either be the punk rocker, try and jump around on stage,
Of course.
or try and be the quiet type, like a little Radiohead,
Mm-hmm.
like shut them out. And through those little shows, I agree with Elton that you kind of find your own style. Like me, um, gosh, I keep running on, but anyway,
No, it's all
um,
right.
like me, there are certain movements or things that I may do
Mm-hmm.
that are kind of spur of the moment that I kind of am inspired to do by the way I feel the crowd. And then I keep that for the future events. And then some things I do vice versa, where I'm like, okay, maybe I should stop looking up so much or other things. And those become lessons. It doesn't matter who I am or what my personality is, but I can share emotions to people I've never met before. I'm not saying I have a bad personality. Okay?
Okay.
I'm just saying that no matter who you are, if you really have the talent, for performing or singing, and I discovered this through my gap year, that you can share these things with a lot of people. Sad songs, happy songs, and I guess again back to the gap year and through
Mm-hmm.
discovery. When you start performing these songs, sometimes their meanings can change,
Yes.
as you grow older, as you experience more. And that's one of the biggest lessons I've taken away through my time of performing is like sometimes, some days you don't feel the song as much, sometimes you do feel the song as much. But what always sticks there is you do your best to just convey the emotion. And there wasn't much I learned about myself per se, if you're talking about outside of music.
Yeah.
It's just that, it's just being focused on my career. So that's pretty much it.
Now, you've mentioned that you want to collaborate with both new and established voices. So, can you name a few? And I'm also broadening this question by saying you can name anybody you want, as in like our favorites from the 60s and past. Go
Oh, boy.
ahead. Yeah, anybody at all. Like, I guess, give me 5. Is that enough?
Okay, sure. So internationally,
Okay.
I'd like to collaborate definitely with Elliot James Ray.
Okay.
So he did, I think they call this Love, which a lot of people have heard everywhere, and I love the song. I love his style of music.
Yeah.
So I would love to. Collaborate with him.
Okay. That's one.
Actually, I was able to do a duet with him.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so we had a little duet where he signed my guitar, and
Oh,
then
that's so cool.
this was backstage, and then I played his song for him. Not, I think they call this love, because I hadn't learned that by
Yeah.
ear. It was his second single, "Boy in Love,"
Yes.
that I played, and then we sang it together. And
Oh, wow.
really a fantastic moment. I was shivering though, like a wet dog, basically. My gosh, like, am I gonna get this right? Did I play the right chord?
Oh my
And
gosh.
dude was like, I'm telling you, that guy's got a perfect ear, because he just went up to my guitar and he was like, and he's British, so he's like,
Yeah.
I think this needs a bit of tuning. I'm like, okay,
Oh my gosh.
I'll let you do it,
Yeah.
Magic Man. He goes, bam, and then he's like, ding, ding. That's good. So then we played,
Wow.
and then yeah, it was
Such
fantastic.
a core memory, I'm sure.
Go, yes, and I hope to have many of those memories. Singing alongside him, be nice to collaborate with him. I'd say here nationally,
Mm-hmm.
locally, I would probably go with. First off, I'd like to collaborate, I suppose, with Miss Regine.
Of
Velasquez.
course.
Yes, absolutely, because I grew up with her. My mom also sung a lot of her songs,
Yes.
so I'm a big fan of hers. Martin Navarra, I've met him a few
Oh, I
times.
love him. Yeah.
Fantastic man. I mean, he is a really lovely guy.
He's one of the best.
Yeah, so he's from Hawaii, so he's from the state which my family's in, and I've
Oh,
been
okay.
a few times, so that's how we kind of hit it off. And he was really nice. I recall having to perform for, do you know Angeline Quinto?
Of course.
Yes, so she had her wedding recently. I had to perform at her reception. And Sir Martin, this was what I heard, tapped my mom and said, does David memorize the lyrics? Does David
Oh my
have
god.
set up everything? I mean,
Yeah.
he was concerned for me. So, and that was the first time we had met. We had only just met 5 minutes prior. So for him to care that much about a young guy like me is really says something. So, yeah, I'd love to collaborate with Sir Martin in the future. Mr. Gary V, I don't even have to say anything about that. I just heard
Needs
recently.
no introduction. One of the best.
Yeah, I don't even know what I would do. I just like to do something. You know what I mean? So that'd be cool. And then Jeremy G.
Jeremy G.
probably,
Okay.
because we've gotten to know each other. We're from the same management, and
nice.
we hit it off really well. So yeah, I'd love to do something.
Man,
5,
those
right?
are all 5. Those are all great choices. And super fun fact, but Miss Regine Velasquez was my first guest ever on this show. She was
Wow, that's nice.
she was my first ever. It was the middle of the pandemic, and she was nice enough to say yes. And
Oh,
man, that was also a core memory for me. And then of course,
she's great, isn't she? She's very
she
funny.
is very
Yeah,
funny,
yeah.
and she's so nice. And of course, Tito Martin and Tito Gary, I will never stop raving about those two. They're amazing. They're so talented and they're so funny. I love their banter.
Especially together, yeah. When
Yeah,
you see them together.
right? Their
Yeah,
banter is so good.
I have a picture of me where I was asking Sir Gary,
Mm-hmm.
to take a picture with me, recreate a photo I had when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was about 8, I think,
Yeah.
and then he had his hands on my shoulder trying to recreate the photo, and then in the background, this was taken in like burst, like few photos, right?
Yes.
Martin was in the background. Sir Martin
Oh
was
my gosh, that's such a fun photo bomb.
he's like trying to look for trying to photobomb, and he's also looking for Sir Gary, so he's just in the background, like getting closer and closer to the camera.
That's funny because like with Tito Gary naman, what I would do is like I had pictures of him when I was a kid, and you could just see my height. Like that's how I'd measure my height every year. Like, okay, picture with Tito Gary.
Yeah, I'm closer to Sir Gary. Yeah.
Exactly. But those two are the best. They're the nicest, and I really want to see them perform a concert together, like how they used to. Oh, I feel that would be so fun, and it would be
That'd be
such a master class. Yeah.
In performing, yes, absolutely. Everything, the whole thing. Singing,
Right.
performing, talking to the audience. They are both masters of their crafts.
Exactly. It's no secret that people our age, like whether, no matter what industry we're in, whether it be music or acting, you need to have that content creation aspect of it since TikTok and Instagram are such wide arenas for promotion right now. So, what's it like making content for both Instagram and music? Because I see like sometimes you have those like reels and stuff or like mini skits. So,
Yes.
what process do you have for that?
It can be quite a heavy task sometimes because I
Mm-hmm.
do the editing myself.
Really?
And
Wow. I feel you.
yeah, so I did one video recently. Um, and to anybody who like follows my TikTok, yeah, I'm sorry, but hopefully you will understand why I only post like once every week, not even. But
That's
but
pretty
I
good.
edited this video that was it was like a playlist. Okay, how do I explain this? It was supposed to be a parody of a CD commercial I saw.
Okay.
I this in the 90s. I wasn't alive in the 90s. This is a 90s CD commercial that I saw,
Okay.
and it's like a playlist of all your favorite stuff.
Okay.
So I made a TikTok advertising a playlist that I created,
Mm-hmm.
a Spotify artist playlist, full of my own favorites, including my song, of course.
Of course.
And I advertised on my TikTok. Took about 5 hours, I think, to edit. And it was like, yeah, it was like a replication of that, but it was exhausting, especially when you're kind of like, I really want to add this or I really want to add that. Not perfectionist in a way, but more like you just want to put more stuff into it.
Yes.
And so that's why sometimes creating content can be quite a daunting task. And like, for example, when I do covers,
Mm-hmm.
I don't how do I say this? I'm not going to say a lot of people do this on TikTok, and it's more understandable for people who do like R&B and stuff.
Mhm.
But they do kind of know how to tune their voices a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah.
that way. They do that because of course, people on TikTok, people on the internet, people in general, can be quite judgy about singing, right? So it has to be very perfect, and kind of like how you would put filters on your face for TikTok. It's
Mhm.
like that. A lot of them kind of do tuning. So I don't know how to do that. I'm like too lazy to do that because I feel like it's harder to tune stuff. So every time I don't do the take right, I redo the whole thing. So sometimes, like yesterday, I recorded a cover of Mabagal. I did like 9 takes of it, not the
Mhm.
whole song, just the first chorus.
Of course, it's a
And
snippet.
yeah, and then editing and all that took about 2 hours just to sing 40 seconds of the song.
Yeah.
So it can be quite daunting, but I'd say that once you get into the groove of it, it gets easier. So, for
Yes,
example,
I agree.
the first cover I took probably took longer to edit than the ones now. So I hope that as the time goes on and I do it more and more, and of course improving my voice, then hopefully it'll just be quicker to do. So yeah, expect to see more.
Yeah, we'll watch out for that. And as somebody who does content creation for a living, believe me, editing gets easier. Every time you do it, the process gets
For the
shorter.
assurance. Thank
Right.
you.
Now, okay, because I found out today that you are such a movie buff. If your life could be directed by anyone, any director, who would it be and why?
That's so tough because there's a lot of directors, but some of them don't really have a distinct style. They just make really good movies.
I agree with you.
Yeah, well, like for example, like we were discussing earlier, Wes Anderson, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic filmmaker. But he has such a distinct style. Yes, it would be cool to see what my life would look like through the creative lens of Wes Anderson, because it'd be all colors and stuff, or at least
Yeah.
white in the colors. I would say this is gonna sound really funny.
Go.
Maybe also Ben Stiller. You might not
Ben
even.
Stiller. Okay.
Fantastically underrated director.
Mm,
Yes, everybody thinks he's just a comedian. Remember,
no,
he
there's more to him.
directed Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
I was about to bring that up.
Super amazing movies. I love those. And Tarantino, obviously. just to see
Oh,
what
of course.
stuff he can come up with. Yeah, like make it like some Pulp Fiction thing. I've never, have you seen Pulp Fiction?
Yes.
Okay, well, I've never broken into somebody's, room and stole their soda. Now, but make it cool, make it cool for sure. I'm sure he'd have fun with that. So those are my directors. Yeah, I can't decide. They're all fantastic.
That's a very interesting choice because, like, sometimes what you have to look into is also the type of movie that they direct. So when you said Tarantino, I was gonna be like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, I don't live a life like that. I just like to see what kind of fun stuff he could do.
Let's get into your song "Long for Your Love." So, what inspired the making of this song?
Well, it's a song. Well, the meaning of the song is essentially longing for someone else's love, and some people. What I like about the song is some people take it as like a heartbreak song,
Mm-hmm.
where the person they know that that person doesn't love them back, but then there are people who also see it as hoping. It's like maybe they
Yes.
do love me back. So yeah, those are the kind of two dynamics that are in the song, and that's kind of what inspired the song. Essentially, I'd have people like friends or people online that post these stories and stuff
Mm-hmm.
talking about unrequited love, or they're unsure if somebody loves them back. So that's what inspired the song, not my own
Wow.
personal experience, and hopefully never.
Yes, hopefully never. We are manifesting a lot of things on this show, and that is definitely one of the
Yes.
priorities. And that's so funny. That's such an interesting place to get inspiration, like the stories and posts that your friends made.
Yeah, and I hope they never got mad at me for that.
It's okay. You turned something into art, and they have to forgive you for that.
Yes, that's true.
What's your favorite line from the song, or one that speaks to you the most? Like, if somebody listening to this song for the first time were to hear it and lift one line, show it to their class, post it on their story, what does that line have to be?
Honestly, it's funny. I'd say the entire chorus.
Okay.
because
Okay.
they all kind of base themselves off the last line.
Mhm.
So the entire chorus goes like, "Your love means more to me than the sun to a tree."
Yes.
Right. Like it means more to them than like air, than
Mhm.
water, something you survive off of.
Yeah, it's an essential.
But then I went off of that metaphor of it being like a star. So then it goes, just like a star, it feels so far. So it's very far away. But let it shine from above. Let
Nice.
your love shine on me. Don't make me have to wait for tomorrow. So just don't keep me waiting. I'd say that entire chorus is I like that. I love that chorus, and I don't think you can just take one line from the chorus
I
without
agree with you.
the rest of it. So yeah, I'd say the whole chorus is what I like.
Nice, nice. So now, tell us about the song you will be releasing.
Okay, so this is gonna be fun. So Tender Lady, Tender Lady is kind of 50s inspired.
Oh, okay.
I'm very proud of this song because, like I said, I like to equate songwriting to like, I guess you say working out, like exercise. Every song becomes like an exercise.
Yes.
Whether you want to put something in there, or let's say you listen to something, so you say, how well can I incorporate this as a new song? So that's what the exercise of this song was can I incorporate the classic 50 sound into something new, or at least pay enough homage to that sound.
Yes.
And Tender Lady, I'm not revealing too much.
Of course, of course.
But yeah, Tender Lady, as you can guess, is a love song. So it's about a lady who's tender.
Okay. Well,
That's about it.
wouldn't have guessed.
So yeah.
So what other spoilers are you allowed to give?
It's probably going to come out within the next month. Within the next month. It's got a lot of guitars.
Oh, okay.
Got some really nice drums.
Wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah, wouldn't have guessed either, man.
Someone's gonna be singing, right?
Let me see. I've done the chorus. I've teased the chorus on TikTok. So Won't you smile? Yeah, it's essentially just a regular love song. The theme is kind of the same as Long for Your Love, actually, I would say. It doesn't directly go like from the perspective of somebody who's kind of heartbroken. It kind of goes off of it's more eager. If you imagine that Long for Your Love is like in characters, Long for Your Love, the person in that, the protagonist, I guess you could say, real film buff here, kind of is like reaching out.
Yes, yearning.
Along for your love, you're so far, like Romeo to Juliet.
Yes.
Tender lady is like, come on now. Like,
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
Like eager. Like, come on. Like, while we're here, because the idea in my head, another spoiler, was like, it's going to be like a prom dance,
Oh, okay.
kind of like, while we are here in this moment,
Yeah.
let's dance underneath the stars, something like that.
Oh,
So
nice.
under the stars of the disco ball, so that's kind of the idea I had in my head for that song.
Okay, well, thank you for the spoilers and for even like humming a bit. So that's great. And in advance, congratulations. We're definitely looking
Thank you.
forward to this release. Now, drop your letterboxed. Kidding.
Oh, okay. I don't use Letterboxd. Yeah, I just watch stuff and that's it. I got a friend who uses Letterboxd, and that was about the one time I went on, and I was like, dude, what kind of movies are these? I forgot what movies they were. It was like during the pandemic.
Okay.
The Letterboxd, I just watched stuff, and that was pretty much it. I have a friend. I'll shout him out so I can send this later, because he has messages. So Mac, my friend Mac, he directs like some like student films, like little stuff. So I got a lot of movie stuff from him as well. So yeah, I even actually was in a little bit of his passion project. I don't see myself as becoming an actor, like a big time actor. I mean, I'd be open to maybe small stuff, but I'm unsure yet about that future.
Of course.
But
when
it's your friend, you can't say no. You're like, I gotta do it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I get shot in his movie. So that was really nice. Yep. Yeah, it's really cool.
Where can we find this movie?
I don't even know if it's public. I don't even know if you put it on unlisted or what. But yeah, if I ever find it, I'll get back to you, because even I might not have the link. So yeah, I'll have to ask. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have like Atenean? I'm sure you guys have like Atenean news boards, right?
We do. Yeah.
There, boom. Hey, you want to know what movie David Young was talking about where he gets shot? Bam. There you go.
Here it is. No, dude, we'll stream it. We'll
From-
stream it on the station. What are you talking about? That is definitely something people are going to be looking for now. Before we say goodbye to our audience and our guests, please allow me to thank a few people first, because this has been New Wave. So thank you to Sir Justin for getting this broadcast up. Thank you to the Star Music team, especially Tony Agregado, for helping us get this episode together. Now, don't miss out. Please follow me on Instagram at Maxine Cruz, YouTube at Maxine Cruz, Maxine_Cruz, and TikTok MaxineCruz.99 to see what's up, shorts of this episode, and videos about Philippine history. Catch the replay of this episode and many more on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM's Facebook page and YouTube, which go by at Radyo Katipunan. But most of all, thank you to our guest, David Young. It was so fun having you. I really enjoyed this conversation. Now the floor is yours to say whatever you want and tell people where to find you, where we can see you.
So first off, I'd of course like to thank everybody. So of course, you, Maxine, you were a fantastic host. This was I'd also like to thank Sir Tony for having me and inviting me here. Star Music, the entire team, ABS, everybody. If you'd like to, also thank you to my fans. Thank you so much. If you're watching, I know some of them are very loyal, and please keep streaming the songs, because Tender Lady's coming out soon, and I know you guys will enjoy that one. So if you'd like to find me on Instagram and TikTok, it's at david.youngofficial to everybody else, and Facebook, David Young Official 17. So that's 17. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Radyo Katipunan.
Thank you so much, everyone. So we will be back next week with Christian singer and composer Pippin. Once again, I'm Max, and when it comes to what's happening, I serve you the facts, and this has been New Wave. We'll see you. If it's entertainment you crave, catch us on New Wave. Surfing through the latest on our